transformations. Like the amount of change a person is making in a 15 to 30-minute session was just kind of mind-boggling and shocking. This is life-changing. It feels like I'm flying. It feels like I'm like the eagle in the sky, soaring over myself. I have so much awareness and freedom now. It was amazing. I'm Anna Strohl, and I'm a licensed professional counselor. So I did training, I think, differently than probably a lot of people experience training, because I went to the first big in-person training where everybody is like just thrown into it. You're just like, okay, here's an introduction, and now go try it with a partner. And that's 3 days of just intensive work where you're learning these processes. And I just couldn't get enough of it. I was so excited about the whole thing, and just seeing the like almost instant transformations, like the amount of change a person is making in a 15 to 30-minute session was just kind of mind-boggling and shocking. And you're also being trained how to use them on yourself. Like one of the things that we have to do in order to become qualified and certified is do them on ourselves, like many times. And the fact that these are tools that you can do in between like work and going home to your family, or in the shower when you're struggling with those shower thoughts, things like that, is also just amazing. But I mean, clearly I can talk about this for hours, but the training itself was really, really cool to see like the different tools as they're handed out. So you get a tool, you get a script, and then you learn it and you see how effective it is. And then they almost like build on each other. Like, okay, well, here's the next script. And then you learn that one and you're like, oh my God, and then you can tie it to this, and they just fall together really well. And I felt like in the 3 days of intensive training that I was at, I felt like I had just like gotten like years worth of information given to me. And then in the training that continued, was it 6 to 8 weeks of learning more tools and just practicing them with other people that are being trained, and hearing Wesley and Stephanie talk about them. I felt like I was like downloading like years and years and years of this amazing tool and wisdom, and also learning more about myself while doing them, because one of the things that's supposed to say, you're learning about yourself on a regular basis, and you're just like getting so much like intense, quick solutions that I changed with almost every tool that I did. I learned more about myself with almost every tool that I did, and was watching other people go through the same transformation. This is life changing. The training itself was worth the price, and if I never used them again, going through that training was transformative. Some of the different aspects that I really loved about being in the training were the community that's created. I made probably lifelong connections, especially in the level 2 training. We have like a text message thing that we use. We're Marco Poloing with each other. You're having to run processes on each other, so you're just building relationships through that. And they're going through the same things as you. They're discovering themselves. They're discovering how to serve their clients and their communities and their families, all like alongside you. It's amazing to see and to be witness to that kind of thing, and to have them as such an integrative part, or a connected part of your integrations. That's been a huge part of it. And also the way that Wesley presents information really clicked with me. He is such a great instructor and teacher. Obviously, he has the background in teaching and being a professor. I love the Rapid Rewire Method tools for many different aspects of things. I've used them personally for myself whenever I'm having a hard time, like with feeling burnt out with work. I mean, I'm seeing 8 hours of clients a day. I am working intensively, having to do notes, all the things that come with being a clinician. So I'm using the tools on myself regularly. And it is great for keeping me engaged, keeping me feeling passionate, not getting that burnout feeling, all of that. So very like selfishly, love them for me. But also I use them in sessions all the time, and seeing people who want to be able to get past certain things so that they can become the best versions of themselves, so they can know themselves better, so they can heal from childhood wounding, so they can move past traumatic events, like being able to tell them, hey, I have this tool, we can knock this thing out in 30 minutes. Let's give it a try. And then sitting there, being able to witness them have these breakthrough moments so quickly, and then looking at me like, what the crap did you just do to me? Like, I've had people tell me, like, it feels like I'm flying. It feels like I'm like the eagle in the sky, soaring over myself. I have so much awareness and freedom now. And just 30 minutes after a session, like not a long thing at all. It doesn't take months and months and months. So being able to just help them with this one problem or help them with these really big problems. It could be a small matter like I'm having this hard time with a coworker, or it could be something like that they've been dealing with since childhood. And seeing how quickly they're able to go from feeling that stuckness, feeling that hurt, feeling all of the things like blocking them from being their best selves, to releasing it and being able to step into a better, more content, more satisfied, more excited versions of themselves. It is like just a privilege to be able to sit on this side of the room and say, oh my gosh, that was amazing. So rapid rewiring, the way I use it in my business right now is I am the rapid rewiring person. It is on my profile on Psychology Today. It is how I am being introduced to potential clients, things like that. One of the big major things that we're just finished incorporating is that I'm now the trauma person at work. We had a couple clinicians who were EMDR certified, and they're no longer with our practice. So now I am getting the referrals for all of the trauma work. Well, they're coming to see me for a couple of sessions to do some trauma release, and then I send them right back to their other clinicians. So it's been a really great way to start incorporating trauma work into their normal sessions with their normal clinicians, so that they can continue to do the work that they want to do without that trauma getting in the way and keeping them stuck. So I have a meeting with a veterinary clinic on the books. I'm going to be doing some processing with them around like euthanasia and having to put down animals and the trauma that you experience just working in a veterinary clinic, and offering it to all of like the first responders, things like that, because those are the people that really could benefit from this. But also I'm seeing people I work with, like other clinicians, other therapists. We are a holistic site. So we have like nurse practitioners and physical therapists, and all of them now have the availability when they're just stressed out, when they had a rough day, or they're just feeling burnt out. They come see me for a session or two. They get on my calendar and they can process that and return to work feeling so much better and just like better versions of themselves without having to hold on to all of this stuff and show up with work to work like being burnt out and frustrated with yesterday's clients and all of that. So, I mean, the impact it's having, I don't even know how to like put that into like a 2 sentence thing. It's so massive. The main reason that I ended up stepping into this role as like the trauma person in my clinic is because I know how powerful these tools are, and I took them to the owner of the clinic and said, hey, look, this is what it is. And I demonstrated, and I've actually now done processing with all 4 sites that we have open right now. So almost all of the clinicians, all of the staff have gone through processes with me. So showing just how effective and how quickly it is, it was a no-brainer. Like, obviously, let's start implementing this. Let's start using this. I think there is a lot of that hesitation around like, well, how can you claim that after one session you could release trauma, all of that stuff. And I think there is a lot of fear, especially right now, around the idea of working with trauma. You have to be trauma informed. You have to know really like progressive tools and all of these things. And that's something to remember, is like these tools that we use now, cognitive behavioral therapy, EMDR, all of those were new at some point. EMDR is an amazing tool. It has a lot of really great benefits. It works on things outside of just trauma. And at one point, not too long ago, it didn't exist. There was no EMDR 50 years ago. These are newer tools. And so the idea of like, oh, you have to be trauma informed. Yes, of course, like understanding how to be in a room with somebody, how to keep them in their bodies. You know, can you feel your feet on the floor? Keeping them present, keeping that safe container for them is very important. And we're taught how to do all of that. Wesley is very informative and very concerned with that. Like that is a big part of our training, is how to have a safe container, how to show up ready to meet our clients and be there to support them through the processes. So even though the process doesn't take long, it is very, very fast. So the nature of trauma shows up and it stays around in like the back of our brains, and that like what some people would call their monkey brain or their lizard brain, and it holds on back there. So that is not reasoning, it's not cognitive. And what we're doing is we're getting into that moment, we're getting into that feeling, into that monkey brain, and then we're bringing in everything else. We're bringing in that cognitive piece, we're covering it, we're holding on so that you can have a full brain experience, not just a trauma brain. And what that does is it allows you to regulate, it allows you to integrate it. because we're now using all our parts of our brain. I have you in the room, engaging with the room, engaging with your space so that you can integrate it, so that you're not just pulled back into your amygdala. You're not just stuck in that monkey brain. You're coming in and you're able to separate yourself. And it doesn't have to take months at a time. It doesn't have to be, I'm bringing you back into this traumatic event over and over and over again. So every session you're having to be re-exposed to this trauma. It doesn't have to be that way. It can be a 30-minute session and then you're engaged with it completely different. It's still something that happened to you. It is not something that is you. If I had somebody coming up and asking me, like, I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence, what should I do? If someone's on the fence and just introducing people to work at it, I have a lot of interest here with people that want to do it. And oftentimes it's, is it effective? Is it worth the cost? And my things are, let's run you through a process and I'll show you how effective it is. Because as soon as you run through a process, there's no doubts there that it's effective. There's no doubt in your mind that, okay, this is something that's worth it. And then the second aspect of like the financial aspect, okay, how can you use this? How are you using this to grow? How is it impacting your life? It's like the cost versus reward. If you're using it on a daily basis just for yourself, it's worth it. If you're using it to help just friends and family when you see that they're struggling with something, it's definitely worth it. But also, if you can build a business, if you can bring in clients, if you're changing people's lives, not just within your own little space, but reaching out, because you can use these tools virtually, you can use these tools over the phone. So you're not just impacting a small little community, you can start impacting the world. How is that not worth it? The changes that I've seen just within myself, 100% worth it. But the impact I know that I'm going to have on my community and the impact that my community will have on their communities and the ripple effect of it is just tremendous.